Hey, greetings. This is Gary DeGrazia Sr. at DeGrazia Properties, powered by eXp Real Estate. And today's video, what I'm talking about is life after sales for real estate agents. So this is very important to kind of grasp a hold of, regardless if you've been in the business for 5 years or for 40 plus like myself, because this is going to affect you, this business, somewhere down the line. Life after sales. That could be selling for 20, 30, 40 years. That could be that you've been in business for 5 years. Maybe an accident happens and you can't sell no more. It could be, God forbid, some type of illness that you have that takes you out of selling. But eventually, your last sale is going to come. And it doesn't matter if you're 20 or if you're 60. The last sale is going to come. And this is what this segment is about. Life after real estate sales. So this is what I want you to kind of grasp on, because this really opened up my eyes when this was all put together for me a few years ago. First of all, the average agent earns right around $60,000 a year. Now I'm rounding this up a little bit. It's a little bit less, about $56,000. And that may not be you. You may be a six-figure agent, and that's great. Congratulations if you are. But for the majority of the agents, and this is what this is all about, you're earning about $60,000 a year. And for the superstars, somewhere around $150,000 plus. And then of course there's the mega agents that are making $300,000 plus. So why these numbers are important is what I want to ask you. If that 60,000, 150 or 300 went away, what would your financial picture look like right now for yourself and your family? Would you be devastated? Would you have to live on whatever savings that you had until you go out and get a job? What if your real estate sales stopped today? Where would you be with that 60,000 if that was being generated from real estate sales and you couldn't sell anymore? Or a 150 or to 300,000. We're all caught up with chasing escrows right now and living that better life. Everybody thinks real estate agents are millionaires, but the truth is that the majority of the real estate agents have basically a good job. They make $60,000 to $100,000 a year. You know, out of that they got to pay their taxes and their living expenses and whatever, and try to put some money away. So what we're going to talk about today is some options that you're going to have to really understand, so when you get to that point where it's time for life after sales for whatever reason, whether you're just at the age where you want to retire, or maybe it was an accident that you were in. I had some friends that were in accidents. They couldn't sell for 6 months. I had one that couldn't sell for 8 years because they were getting repaired, their bodies. I had another that died. So what do you do in that case? What does your family do in that case? So agents are making, on average, $60,000 a year. That's the majority of agents across the United States. And there are those agents that are making $150,000 plus. They're full-time, they're workers, hardcore. And then there's the superstars making $300,000 and more. I have friends that are making $1 million a year in real estate, but they work hard for that. So no matter where you fit in here, what I want to ask you is, what would your financial picture look for you and your family if this 60,000 went away, or this 150 went away, or the 300 that you've been earning in your real estate business stopped for whatever reason? Retirement, health, injury, death. Where would that be for your family? And this is what I want you to think about today with this segment. Now, the average realtor making $60,000 a year, which is the majority of the agents in our business. 80% of the agents are not the superstars making the big money. 20% make the big money, 80% don't. So out of 2 million agents in the United States, there's a lot of agents that are falling in this bracket, $60,000 to $100,000. So when I talk to agents, I say, what does your retirement program look like? And they're telling me, well, I'm trying to buy real estate. That's the big thing. I'm going to buy real estate. I'm going to build up this great passive income. Don't get me wrong. There is no better investment than real estate. I bought many homes over the years, a lot of them that we kept in my early years. But I soon realized that that's not available for everybody today, because in my days, in the 70s, when I was coming up in 80s, you could buy homes for commissions down because the prices were low. But today, what I want to break down for you is, for those of you that think you're going to build a real estate passive income, it's probably not going to happen to you. If you don't have it already that you inherited or you built up yourself already, and you have these nice properties that are paying you some type of monthly passive income, you got a little bit of management, and eventually they'll be paid off, and that's going to supplement your retirement. If you don't have those already, it's probably not going to happen. And this is why I want your attention on this, because we're going to give you some alternatives. So let's talk about buying a rental property, because that's what most people that are in real estate are saying they're going to do, because it's no secret that everybody puts out there that the fastest way to become a millionaire is to own real estate. And that's still true today if you can. So I want to take a typical house, and we're going to use my area, which is Northern California, and we're going to say a typical rental that we're looking at to buy, and we're going to use the number 300,000. Now, I realize that 300,000 is not available in a lot of areas around the Bay, but when you get outside of the immediate Bay Area and you get out to the Central Valley where we live now in Turlock and things like that, you can buy nice homes for 300,000. So we're going to use that number, but you'll have to determine, am I paying 500,000 for that same house to have a rental, or 450, or whatever it may be. But the math will work no matter what price you start with. So with this $300,000 house, if you were going to buy that today, you're going to need from 25 to 25% down. That's what the lender is going to require for you to buy this home. That means that somewhere between 60,000 to 75,000, you're going to have to put down on this home in order to buy it, because it's an investment property for you. Now, some people say, I'll use creative financing and we'll have the seller carry back and all that. That's true, but you're not building up any equity, because whatever the seller's carrying back, you're going to have to pay in interest, monthly payments, balloon payments, or whatever. So I'm talking about right now, if you're buying a rental house and you're putting down the 20 to 25% down that you're going to save from your real estate commissions, you're going to have to save $60,000 to $75,000 for your down payment. You're going to have closing costs, but what we do on this is we say, hey, our commission buying that house will probably pay our closing costs, so we're not going to include that. So on that $60,000 to $75,000 investment, you're going to buy a property. You're going to have a cash flow on that property. And for this example, we're not going to go with the full PITI payment that you'll have and what the rental can be, but it's going to fall somewhere between $400 and $500 a month passive income. After you pay the note, whatever taxes you have to pay on the property and put away, insurances, if you have a property manager or whatever, buying this $300,000 house, you're going to have somewhere between a $400 to $500 positive, and that's probably a little high, but we'll use it for our purposes. So, this is my question to you. With these numbers, let's say that your monthly expenses right now, this is probably low, is $4,000 a month. That covers your house note, if you have a house, or your rent. That covers your insurances for your car. That covers for your house insurances. That covers for your medical costs. Anything that you have a fixed monthly expense for. Your utilities, your food, credit cards, things like that. And this number is probably low, but we're going to use that $4,000. So based on the $400 positive cash flow, you would need 10 of these homes to have that positive cash flow equal the $4,000 that is your monthly fixed expenses. Okay, so if something happened to you later on and these 10 homes were producing that income, your fixed expenses would be covered. That's a great deal, right? Now, that doesn't mean entertainment, Christmas funds, vacation funds, anything like that. That may mean you need to have a couple of more houses to take care of all those needs. But we're just talking about fixed expenses right now. So with those 10 homes, to get the 4,000, it means that you had to invest $600,000 on the low side to buy those 10 homes. So if you're making $60,000 to $150,000 a year, how many homes are you going to be able to buy each year? That's the question that you need to realize, okay? Probably to put $60,000 away, if you're a $100,000 a year agent, it's probably going to take you somewhere around 4 to 5 years to put the $100,000 away that you need, or the $60,000 plus closing that you need in order to buy that rental property. Okay, say 3 years, 3 to 4 years. That's if you were able to save $20,000 to $25,000 a year. That's not the easiest thing to do. But if it's 3 years and you need 10 homes, and you're talking 30 years. 30 years to get where you want to be, that 4,000 nut is covered. Okay? So how realistic is that going to be for you today and your family? Because what changed my mind about the real estate business 4 years ago, after 40 years of chasing escrows, being a top producer, buying rental properties, having 2 crashes take all those rental properties away, getting involved in the IPO with cash in our retirement fund after we were scared of the real estate market for a while, back in around the 2000s, and having the 2008 crash take away that money that we invested, we were panicked. Because although I was making great money, I'm in the multiple 6-figure income with my probate business and my real estate business over 40 years. We have a great lifestyle, but I was starting to get concerned about how am I going to keep that lifestyle going if something happens to me. And I had a couple health scares. 2013, my wife had a health scare in 2012. We almost lost her. She doesn't bring in an income other than her Social Security, so that would have been a big financial loss, but an emotional loss, of course. But if I would have went and that income stopped, where would my family be? And that's what opened my eyes in 2014 when I was given the opportunity to look at a way to handle our real estate business that it builds all this that we need to maintain our lifestyle wherever we want to be, and it's not driven on us chasing escrows anymore. You got to do it for a while. Now, I left RE/MAX. It took me a year to leave RE/MAX to go with this opportunity, but I believe in it so much. Now, fast forward 4 years, and my program is great. I didn't have to wait 30 years to have enough homes to cover our monthly fixed expenses, which is more than the 4,000. My monthly fixed expenses are now covered for me. Every month I get a check from our brokerage company because I helped expand the company over the last 3 or 4 years, which covers all of my fixed expenses. So I'm maintaining that right now, and that's growing. Every year it grows. And I'm working it until it gets to the magic number that I want it to be. But it was able to semi-retire me now. So what I'm pointing out to you, are you in this category that you're going to buy real estate? Maybe you have a couple rentals now, and the passive income is great. Maybe you own them outright and you're bringing in, $2,000 on each one, less your cost of holding them. Maybe you're netting $1,500 and you got $3,000 a month coming in. That's great. But if your lifestyle takes $6,000 a month, then are you willing to lower back down on your lifestyle when that time comes and you can't work no more? When you're in your 60s or 70s, or you just need to retire because of health, illness, or whatever. So this is what we want to open. If you're getting this video, it's because we've been talking to you about the opportunity with us and partner with us with our EXP company. And this is the first step of understanding this opportunity, is understanding where you are now today financially. Doesn't matter if you're making $300,000 a year or $150,000 a year, because if you're living on your full income, which a lot of people do, what happens when that income goes away? Yeah, maybe it's 20 years from now because you're only 30 years old. But you never know what can happen. And if this opportunity would have been available for agents 20 years ago, I would have got into it then. But it didn't come to my attention until 5 years ago, and it took me a year to switch over from RE/MAX. I was happy. I was making a ton of money. I loved my brokers and my location where I was. I didn't have any reason to go anywhere, like a lot of you were thinking before you came over. And some of you that are looking at this, you haven't made the change yet. But this is to help you think about why you want to make a change if this is all important to you. If you think these numbers are going to change for you to build a real estate income, then I just want to tell you is maybe take a serious look at the way you're thinking, because most likely it's not going to happen. And we want this to be the best for you. Okay? So if you like this, what we're talking about, we're going to do a number of these and how this all works. Then just hit us back. Gary Jr. sends emails to everybody that we have come in touch with over this opportunity to go with us, to build this. So over the next 2 to 3 years, you have an income passive stream coming in that once you hit 3 years, like I am with the company, it's vested for life. And we're going to go more into that in another segment that we do. But for today, open your eyes to life after sales, because when it happens, folks, and it can come without being planned. It can become with a health issue. It can become with an accident, a death. You never know. Or you're just at the end of your sales life and you want to slow down and retire. And unless you have this kind of money to be buying rental properties, what are you going to do to keep the lifestyle that you've been enjoying? Or if you're in the 60,000 category and you need all that just to put food on the table and pay your rent, what are you going to do to replace that? Well, we have the answer to that, and we've been reaching out to a lot of you. So some of you need to look a little bit more at what we've been sending out, or say, hey, Gary, I want to get together with you guys. Let's have a cup of coffee. We're local to each other. Or, yeah, I mean, we have people coming into this program with us from New York, from Florida, Las Vegas, Arizona, all through California now. Our program is almost 14,000 strong right now. Across the country, we're in 50 states plus Canada now. That company is growing. This is a time to really look at this, okay? Because 14,000 out of 2 million agents, drop in a bucket. So, I'll leave you with this. Life after sales. What are you doing to prepare for that? Doesn't matter if you're 20, 30, 40, 50, or 60. It's coming. What are you doing? Thank you.